Welcome to BlackHoles&Books, where we read and we talk about books and we do whatever other little projects I feel like doing, but mostly read. This evening, my husband is going to a bachelor party for one of his friends, so he's not here. I finished my homework, so I figured there were some bookish things that I wanted to do. I have a few books I want to read, plus like a little craft that I kind of want to get done, and then obviously I'll have to like eat dinner and stuff and all that jazz. But reading plans as they go. I've been reading The Strength of the Few by James Islington, and I am almost done with it. Like, this is how much I have left. So it's like, I think it's like a little bit more than 100 pages, but like barely more. We're gonna finish this up tonight. And then also at some point tonight, I'm probably also gonna read more Rory Thorne. So I started this a couple days ago. I'm on page 77 right now. And honestly, this is a fun book. I don't know why it's not talked about more, because it is, I don't know, it's just enjoyable. It's like sci-fi, but also a fairy tale retelling. I think that's really fun. So I'm having a good time with this. I'm gonna go ahead and read it some more tonight as well once I finish The Strength of the Few. And then since this is just one evening, those are the only reading plans. But my crafting plan, let me show you and explain it to you, so that way it makes sense. So I've been trying to make my bookshelf more fun and pretty. So like I made this a while ago, which is nothing crazy. Like it's just beads and little stars that I taped. Like literally it's just taped to my bookshelf. Anyway, the next little project I wanted to do is like painting the underside of this to have like a star map on it. Sorry, in case you can't tell, I do kind of have a thing for stars. I really like them. So anyway, I'm going to paint this so that it has stars and it looks super pretty and cute and all that. I want to do that tonight. To be able to properly do this project, I got a few little things from the store. I ran to the store earlier today and I got a couple things. First off, I painted my bookshelf to have the little prints on the side. Like here, you can't really see it. But when I did that, I realized like the acrylic paint that I use doesn't really stick to this bookshelf super well. So I got some sandpapers because I thought like maybe if I like sand it a little bit, it'll like hold the paint a little bit since it'll be a rougher surface. I don't know. We got like, literally this is just a thing of sandpaper. We're gonna give that a go. The other thing I got, just because I'm almost out, is some tape. So that way if I wanna like tape off any sections, which I probably definitely should do. But anyway, got some tape. And then there's also some other projects that I might use this for as well. But also, since I was at Home Depot, I got paint samples. I, for the last while, haven't really used bookmarks a lot, and now I'm like restarting to use bookmarks again. It's just kind of random. You have to go with it. But anyway, I like to make bookmarks out of paint samples. So I got some of these. I don't know if I'll do this tonight, but I will post when I do, because I like to make them look a little bit prettier than this. So like I have my little flower ones that I made, but I'm thinking, especially with these ones, I just got some black ones, and I just got like the Dungeon Crawler Carl books. And so I was thinking I could paint these so that like there's one for each book. So like this one will do like a pink and yellow theme, and like I'll paint something on it that is reminiscent of this book. And then like can do the same for this one, and again for the third book, which I think will be fun. Anyway, just so I have some fun and cute bookmarks that are book themed. I think that'd be fun. Anyway, again, I'm not sure that I'll do that tonight, but I do have the paint samples for whenever I decide to do that now. And then I also have a bunch of other colors. I have those, and then in addition to that, I got another thing of Mod Podge, because my thing is running out. This one is different because normally I get the one that's like, it says it's like the satin finish and this is a gloss finish. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to tell a difference, and I'm not really concerned either way. This was just like a bigger thing, and I kind of wanted a bigger thing of Mod Podge because I do go through it. That is all that I have. We're gonna go ahead. I might go for a walk first just because I can. I'm also like sleepy, which is funny because I got like more than 8 hours of sleep. I don't know why I'm so tired. We just gotta go with it. Anyway, gonna go for a walk. Gonna go finish The Strength of the Few, finally. I feel like I've been taking so long on it. I don't know if it's actually been long, but it feels long, and I don't know. I'm kind of ready to finish this book. Let's go ahead and get on into it. ready to finish up The Strength of the Few. I will say though, I met a cat on the walk. Cutest little calico cat. I probably would have enjoyed it more, like this whole experience, if it weren't for the fact that I'm very allergic to cats. So, it's fine though. I got home, I washed my hands twice, and I washed my face, and I put the jacket I was wearing in the dirty clothes. So I don't think I'm gonna have an allergic reaction. Granted, it's also just allergy season anyway, so I do have my inhaler that I'm gonna keep next to me for the next little bit, just in case. I should be fine, but I would just rather be safe than sorry. Anyway, so I have my inhaler, I also have my water bottle. For the next little bit, I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be reading, we're just gonna have a good time. Finish The Strength of the Few. Not gonna lie, I did kind of cry a little bit there at the end. I haven't done that in a while. That's actually not true. I did it when I was reading Dark Age. But anyway, it kind of left on a bit of a cliffhanger, which makes me very curious. I will say, there's like certain world building stuff that like, I don't know if it just, I wasn't really paying attention enough when it was explained, but like throughout the book, I found myself kind of lost when we were talking about that stuff. So might be worth a reread at some point, like before the next book comes out. I'll probably want to reread this. For now, I think it was pretty good. Maybe like a solid like 3.5 stars. Like I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was also not fun, but like in the way that, you know, makes a book good, if that makes any sense. Anyway, moral of the story, I would recommend this book to other people and like this series. I think it's really good. I like the themes that it kind of plays with and the ways it makes you think. Next though, I'm gonna start working on my bookshelf. Alright, this is what it's looking like all gessoed. I'm gonna be entirely honest, I ended up using my fingers just because the paintbrush was a little small for all this area. And we're gonna let that dry for a minute. Sunday now, but this is kind of where we're at on it. I kind of started adding like a lighter strip across to kind of put the Milky Way, so I'm gonna keep working on that for right now. Now at the end of this video. I was expecting this to be just one evening, but it's like 24 hours later, and that's fine. But I did finish my bookcase painting, which you guys should have seen that. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but I think that's more just because I'm not the most talented artist and I don't paint a whole lot. I think it makes my bookshelf a little bit more interesting, and I enjoy that. As for the books that I read, I finished The Strength of the Few. I talked about it earlier. I did enjoy this book. I feel like I may need to reread it before, like, I think it's The Power of One is the next book. Anyway, before that one comes out, just to make sure I really understand some of the world building that happened in this book. I would highly suggest reading the series for most people. And then I've been reading How Rory Thorne Destroyed the Multiverse. I am now on page 183, and honestly, it's a good time. I feel like I didn't explain it a lot, just because especially at the beginning, I was still like figuring out what's going on. So basically, we have Rory Thorne, who is born to, it's called the Thorne Consortium, essentially a government, but in space. And her mother is from another government who like married her father for political reasons. And then they end up going to war with another, it's not a country, but like another government with land, but it's in space, so it's not like a country the way we would think about it. Anyway, I digress. They end up going to war, stuff's happening. It's a good time. And I will say, like, the way I've been describing it is like it's a sci-fi fairy tale retelling, which I think is true. And I do stand by that. But it doesn't have like a ton of fairy tale-ness. At least I'm not finding it being like a retelling of like Sleeping Beauty or Cinderella or something like that. At least not yet. But I think, well, so with the book, Rory's ancestor was supposed to be Sleeping Beauty, I think. Point is, Rory does have magic fairy blessings that was given to her when she was like named, which I think is a really fun thing. She doesn't have a like curse per se though, because they invited the 13th fairy, but then that fairy gave her the ability to like see through lies, but like lies where it's also where if like an adult tells a kid like, oh no, you can't eat this because it's spicy, when it's really like a treat, she can like see through that. But then she can also, if people say one thing but really mean another, she can understand what they actually do mean. So like when people would be like, say some adult is like, no, you can't do that because you're too little, she can understand it to be like, no, you can't do it because I don't want to teach you how to do it or whatever, which I think is a really interesting ability. And I don't know, I kind of like it. And I also like that, because I feel like with a lot of fairy tale retellings, especially with like where the child was given blessings when they were christened, it ends up like their whole personality revolves around the blessings the fairies give them. And I appreciate that Rory still has other personality traits outside of the fairy blessings. I don't know, I think it's fun. I think I like that she's defined outside of her blessings, but then the blessings do still play a role in her life. Also, she's just spunky, and I enjoy a good spunky female main character. So yeah, anyway, I'll keep reading this. I'll enjoy it. It is part of a series, so I'll have to maybe keep on with the series. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Moral of the story is, it was good seeing you guys. I had a great evening. I hope you guys had a good time too. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you want more of this content, and I'll see you in the next one.